Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's John Lent, your best friend, your realtor, your soccer coach, your personal chef. Okay, no, I'm not gonna do any of those things, but I am a real estate agent and we can be best friends. I work in the Seattle area. I've lived here for 25 years, up and down Seattle, all over the place, so I obviously love it and can't see myself living anywhere else. And today I wanted to make a video why I do love it and why I've lived here for so long and what makes Seattle the best place in the world. So let's talk about that. If you have real estate questions, we can talk about that too. If you want to subscribe, go ahead. I don't care, that'd be cool, but I mean, I don't subscribe to any YouTube videos, so I get it. But hey, let's get into it. Hey, okay, so I wrote down some stuff, made a list. Not a very long list, but it's a list. So let's talk about it. First thing I wrote down is rain, because I think that's what most people think of Seattle. They think rain is just like, it never stops raining. It's not that bad. It's really not like that. There's other parts of the world get a lot more rain than we do. I think we might get more days in a row. Like some days I'll just be like, oh my God, is it ever gonna stop raining like every day? But it's not as much rain as some other places get. So boom, myth busted. But the problem I think is that it's dark and cloudy for like 8 months of the year, which that can be really, honestly, kind of depressing. The days are really short, like it doesn't really get bright. You just won't see the sun and you're like, I feel like Gollum from Lord of the Rings. So I just recommend going on vacation, try and get some sun. There's a lot of sunny places the rest of the time in the world. So go on vacation, keep your sanity. Seasonal affective disorder, the real thing. So travel, but it does rain, it's not that bad. Don't let it stop you from moving here. And really, it washes away a lot of the filth and grime that just kind of is inherent with living in the city, people walking around and food and da-da-da-da-da. So the rain washes a lot of that away and kind of brings in some fresh air, if that makes sense. So yes, it rains, it's not that bad. Boom, done, next. Okay, the next thing I wrote down after rain, which kind of just makes sense because rain is part of the seasons of the year, which Seattle has all four, like very distinctly. It's really actually kind of nice. It's not just hot and sunny all the time. It doesn't get freezing cold. It doesn't get super duper hot. I think spring and fall are my favorite. Fall is great. The city is very colorful with all the leaves changing colors, like just everywhere covered. It's the holiday spirit. You can really feel it. You get my pumpkin spice latte, you just go for a walk and go to the pumpkin patch and it's like the best day ever. And then, you know, the winters are not that bad. It gets kind of cold, nothing like some other parts of the world. It snows for 5 days maybe. Everyone freaks out and then the snow's gone. Like I said, it's cold and dark are really the two bad things. And so the fall into the winter can feel like forever sometimes. And you just have to like go on vacation and go get some sun somewhere and just get out of here for like a couple days. And you'll be fine. And then you get into spring, things are coming back to life, the city's colorful and flourishing again. And then the summers here, I'm telling you, are honestly the best. It's beautiful, it's the perfect temperature every day. There are countless activities to do outside as far as like, you know, there's lakes and oceans all around us. There's camping everywhere. There's all kinds of stuff to do. So if you're an outdoors person, which honestly, I'm not even into that, but I know the opportunities are there. So there's a lot to do. I just go hang out at the beach with friends. I go on a walk. I do summer stuff. So I'm not a huge sports outdoorsy guy, but it's there and it's still nice in the summer when it's hot and beautiful and gorgeous and you cannot see a cloud in the sky. You can see Mount Rainier. It's just lovely. Okay, seasons, we have them, they're great. You'll learn to love them. Something else that I think is really cool about Seattle, we have some really cool architecture. A lot of the buildings here are just really cool to look at. Honestly, they're just beautiful, like marvels. The library's insane. A lot of these condos they're building now are just freaking wild. I don't even know how you live in there or how you build those or any of that stuff. So as someone who's lived here for a long time, there's a lot of new buildings going up and they're all gorgeous. And it's just really cool to look at, especially, you know, they're gonna be there and not every building looks the same. They're all distinct. They're all a unique look to them, and there's still a lot of that timeless old Seattle that has been here for a long time that will continue to be here. So it's cool seeing those together mixed throughout the city. It doesn't feel like just a concrete jungle, so to speak, like New York. There's a lot of nature in between, so the old architecture, the new architecture, the parks are everywhere, and trees are just mixed everywhere in the city. So it doesn't feel like a big city. It has a small time feel to it. So architecture, love it. Another thing Seattle has that actually really every city has, every major city, but entertainment, you know, God, the freaking sirens again. Oh, they're gone. Hey, so entertainment. The Paramount is a short walk from me. Obviously this whole video is kind of dependent where you live, but I live in Capitol Hill. and the Paramount Theater is right there. There's several other theaters downtown there where there's some really good shows that come through quite often. There's a lot of creative energy here. A lot of music was started here. There's art festivals all the time. There's little private bars that have like cute little live music and stuff. There's piano bars and jazz shows, and the Banner Royal Hall has like musicals and operas. So there's just countless things to do if any of that interests you. Or if it doesn't interest you, maybe broaden your horizons. But there's definitely things to do. There's the EMP, that building. Speaking of architecture, that thing is wild, and there's always new stuff coming through there. The art museum is just amazing and gorgeous. Pike Place Market, like there's just so much going on in Seattle almost all the time, especially now COVID is kind of coming to an end. These things are reopening and there's just so much going on. It's really cool to see the city coming back to life. Summertime is here. Like I said, it feels alive. It feels good. Stuff going on. So it's fun. I just recorded a whole thing and actually didn't record it. So anyway, the next on my list is Walkable. It's a very walkable city. I live in Capitol Hill, so I guess it depends where you live. But everything I need is right here. There are like 5 grocery stores all right next to each other, and little stores in between that, little gift shops and just places to go and all kinds of stuff to do. There's bars and nightlife and more restaurants than I can count, all like in a square mile around Capitol Hill. It's a very walkable little city, and then just outside down Capitol Hill is downtown Seattle, which there's countless shopping and all kinds of stuff to do down there. More great restaurants. Pike Place is basically at the edge of downtown, so you can walk to Pike Place, and I think it's every day from 10 to 6 or something like that. The market is just flooded. There's people everywhere, little shops, food, restaurants, trinkets, and shopping, and you can literally spend all day there. Then there's a giant park kind of there, and then you can get down into the piers where there's the wheel and all kinds of stuff to do there. You can go on boat tours, you can go kayaking, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff. And it's all right here. It's literally like all a 20-minute radius around my place in Capitol Hill. So that is mostly relative to me and if you live in this area, but there are a lot of condos and apartments and houses even for sale in Capitol Hill. Downtown is gonna be mostly condos, but they're building a lot of high-rise condos right now that are absolutely gorgeous. If you don't wanna walk, there's a subway thing that can take you to major stops around the city, kind of goes all the way down south to the airport, goes up to like UW, and that's super easy to use, very user-friendly, and runs like 5 a.m. to midnight or something, so not 24 hours, but most of the hours. So yeah, it's walkable, it's easy to get around. Cool. Okay, the final thing that I wrote down for pros is going to be something that maybe not applies to everybody, but it is important to me and it is important to a lot of people, and it should be important to you. But that is it's a very gay-friendly city. My rainbow lights, I'm a gay man. I love living in a place that supports that, and the culture here is just very welcoming and accommodating of everybody. Obviously, I have to take that into account. I definitely wouldn't live in certain parts of the country or the world. So being in a place, I kind of forget, but being in a place that is so gay-friendly, and not just gay, but like trans-friendly, Black Lives Matters, minorities of all kinds, American, Asian, Pacific Islanders, like all that stuff is very big movements here in the middle of COVID when things were getting wild. There's a lot of vocal opinions in the city and political marches and activism, and yeah, everyone just gets supported here, gender rights and Black Lives Matter, like I said, just all that stuff. It's really feel the energy of that here. So as a gay man, I feel very safe living in this city, and everyone here is welcome, and I think that's really important wherever you live, Seattle or not. You should feel identified in a community and feel important and valued and safe, and I think that's important, and I appreciate that about Seattle. I feel very welcome, and I can be myself here and be gay. So it's great. Okay, let's get into the bad, the not so bad, because it's really not that bad, but it would be of concern to some people, myself included. The number one is gonna be traffic. Oh my God, and that's mostly just because I hate sitting in traffic. It gives me road rage. I just wanna get to where I'm going. And I don't really know if it's the traffic in Seattle as much as it is just the drivers are terrible and don't know how to drive and just go. And everyone's too nice at the intersection to be like, oh no, you go, oh no, you go, oh no, you go. And you'll just literally sit there forever, and it's like, oh my God, somebody just go. I'm gonna blow my brains out. I get really irritated with traffic. Not that bad, but there's moments where I'm like, this is crazy. And a lot of the city, Seattle, Capitol Hill, downtown, a lot of those streets are like small, 1 lane each way, maybe 2 lanes each way, so it gets backed up quickly. On top of that, there's construction, just endless construction everywhere in the city. So it's just traffic that's just backed up everywhere. You can't really avoid it. There's ways to go around. This will mostly affect you if you don't live in the city and you are traveling to and fro for work or whatnot. If you live in Everett, where it's probably more affordable, definitely more affordable than Seattle, but you're gonna be driving to Seattle, which honestly, I would not do that if I were you. It's a nightmare of a drive. With everything they've tried to alleviate the traffic, it's just not really working. So something to keep in mind. Something to consider if you're moving here from outside of the state and you don't know where to live and you're trying to find somewhere affordable that's close to Seattle, or you can't have everything. So if you need some help finding those, I can help point you in the right direction. But really, traffic is just something you're gonna have to deal with almost everywhere, which most cities have it. It's not really anything that is special to Seattle, except that the drivers are terrible. Like I said, like in my experience in LA, and people everywhere, but they just go, like they just are like aggressive when they need to be. Seattle is kind of the opposite. People are too nice and too hesitant. So that seems a little more dangerous to me. So traffic sucks. I think we all agree with that. Thing is, pretty obvious too. It's expensive. It's expensive. This city is crazy. The rent is expensive. Your mortgage is expensive. Your food is expensive. Your gas is expensive. Your bills are expensive. Everything's expensive. I kind of forget until I go somewhere and get breakfast and it's like $5 when it would be like $12 in Seattle. So I just kind of be prepared for that when you're moving here. You're going to be spending more money on just everyday things, probably, I don't know, depending where you're moving from, but it's a little bit of a shock. So yeah, think about it. Offsets a little bit because there's no state income tax, which is great, because there's only like 7 or 9 states that have that. So it does offset it a little bit. I think Oregon's is like 10%, so it's like a chunk, but we do have a higher sales tax. So it's like negative, positive, I don't know, they kind of outweigh each other. Another thing I wrote down is gonna be, unfortunately, the unhoused population in this city is really not great. It's really sad. There's like $2 billion, I think, went into that population last year, 2021 or something. It's the last thing I read. And I don't want to be insensitive. I just don't know where that money goes. My heart goes out to these people. They've had it hard enough. And, the city has done a decent job of cleaning up. And I don't know if they're like taking these people and giving them infrastructure and taking care of them mentally or whatever they need, or if they're just like, hey, pack up your shit and like move on. Either way, I hope they're doing something right, and at least the city's getting cleaned up a little bit. But I think people who live here would agree that it's notoriously bad at handling that population. There's certain areas of the city that a lot of people just avoid, and those unhoused population is more dense around there, so you can kind of work your way around that. But it is a really bad problem in Seattle. I will not even compare it to LA, because LA is just like a joke. My experience is they're not very aggressive, they're not very in your face, they're not dangerous, they're not going to come at you. They might ask you for $1 or $2 and then leave you alone. I'll stop and talk to some every once in a while, and I've never had like a bad experience, but I understand it's gross, and I don't really want to pay a bunch of this money and have like potentially dangerous people living outside my house. And they're messy, and they've caused fires, and dangerous things happen because they're there. So yeah, my heart goes out. They have a rough time. I don't know what the city's doing with them. I don't know where to go. I don't have a solution. Again, I don't have a solution, but it's something that you need to be aware of to just navigate your day and stay safe. Okay, hey, that's it, guys. We did it. Thanks. That's the end of my list. Hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully you learned something about Seattle. Hopefully this helps you make decisions going forward. Like I said, I've lived here for a long time. I've traveled all over the country, and I just love coming back to Seattle. It's home sweet home. It's definitely my home. I couldn't see myself living anywhere else. So if you need help making Seattle your new home, please reach out to me. I would love to answer any questions you have. Yeah, would love to help you get down here. Whatever it takes, I am rooting for you to move to Seattle. I want everyone to move here. So if you have more questions, or you need some more advice, or you need guidance on how to move here, let alone buy a house and all that stuff, please reach out. I'm here to help you. That's all I want to do. Okay, that's it. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate your time, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, guys. Bye. There's a link rail, like a tunnel shuttle. Is that right? A tunnel shuttle. That doesn't sound right. There's a bus, shuttle, subway.